good morning, evening, or afternoon, depending on what part of the globe you're on and what time zone you are in. I am Skeptically Speaking.
And I'm Sweet Pea from across the pond.
And this is the Skeptically Speaking podcast. Thank you for tuning in to our show. Thank you for tuning in and not tuning out. Well, do we have a show for you? We've got a lot of stories, and at first I want to get through the easy stories, the nicer stories, even some of the uplifting stories, and then we'll get to the shit stories. How about that? What do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
Well, and away we go. So, good news. It looks like the grand jury will not be indicting Mr. Sandwich Man. Not all heroes wear capes.
Good.
If I were to ask you who the Sandwich Man is, what comes to your mind?
The guy slapping the police officer rather pathetically with that Subway sandwich.
And you would be correct. Former Justice Department employee who threw a sub at a federal officer in Washington came to be known as Sandwich Guy, wasn't indicted on a federal felony charge. Washington, you could get it. Yeah.
I was just going to say that sandwich didn't hit that cop nowhere near hard enough. It was like a little throw.
You could get a grand jury
soldier
to indict a ham sandwich, the saying goes. But in Washington, a federal grand jury just declined to indict a man for throwing a salami sub. The grand jury did not return an indictment against a former Justice Department employee who is seen on camera throwing a hoagie at the chest of one of the federal officers. President Donald Trump has deployed the nation's capital, according to two people familiar with the matter. What's the matter, I ask? The grand jury's decision not to indict Sean Dunn is another sign of pushback from Washington, D.C. residents over Trump's deployment of the National Guard and other federal law enforcement agencies in the city, who have put a particular focus on immigration enforcement. The New York Times was first to report the news. The indictment took place on August 10th at the corner of 14th and U Street NW, in the heart of the U Street corridor, a neighborhood that played a historic role in the civil rights era and is now a nightlife hotspot. Fuck you, you fucking fascists. Why are you here? I don't want you in my city. Dunn, 37, yelled at officers in the video. We got a little bit of echo. Sean Dunn holds a sandwich as he reacts with Border Patrol and FBI agents on August 10th. And unfortunately, you can't see what I'm seeing, but it's Mr. Pink Guy with a shirt. What a waste of a sandwich, I have to say. Dunn was then charged in federal court with felony assault on a law enforcement, and the White House posted a highly stylized social media video of his arrest, and on those charges, he was then once again ordered released. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced that Dunn has been fired from the Justice Department, where he worked as a paralegal. Maybe not the hero we had in mind, but definitely a hero that we need. So I say good show on the grand jury. Thank you for seeing the light.
Mm-hmm. It's a pity that that sandwich didn't leave a smudge on the shirt, though.
It was still in the wrapping. What do you think, if you had to make a educated guess, what do you think was in that sandwich?
I am just hoping that it wasn't melted cheese on sort of meatballs, a bit of lettuce, and like some crunchy chips.
It was very well wrapped, I have to say.
It was, and I hope that he wasn't sacrilegious and chucked away, you know, that Italian bread with like the multi seeds on top, with like the cheese baked. I hope he didn't waste one of those.
Mm.
I can't remember the correct name for it.
Yeah, I don't know. But whatever it was well wrapped. It was wrapped tight and it didn't come apart when he threw it. So if he really wanted to make a statement, unwrap it, then throw it at him. If you're going to get charged with something like that, at least make it worthwhile. I want to see splatter on that freshly pressed uniform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to
Uniform of
see chipotle
fascism.
sauce. I want to see chipotle sauce just like splattered.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, I'm just grateful that the grand jury, you know, that they weren't a bunch of fucking idiots, you know.
Mm-hmm.
At least they decided, hey, you know what? We're going to do the right thing. We're
I'm
going to
glad that
do
they weighed up. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm glad that they weighed up the situation.
In other news, US deportation flight US deportation flights hit record highs as carriers try to hide their planes, advocates say. Why would they want to hide their deportation planes?
How did
It's almost as if they know they're doing the wrong thing.
illegal? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, they know what they're doing is wrong.
Mm-hmm. We need that song playing. Don't be suspicious,
Mm-hmm.
because they are up to some really sus stuff.
Yeah. And they're doing it badly. If you're going to try to hide a plane, good luck to you. Immigration advocates gather like clockwork outside Seattle's Kings County International Airport to witness deportation flights and spread the word of where they are going and how many people are aboard. Until recently, they could keep track of the flights using publicly accessible websites. Something tells me that's going away. But the monitors and others say airlines are now using dummy call signs for deportation flights and are blocking the plane's tail numbers from tracking websites. Even as the numbers of deportation flights hit record highs under President Donald Trump, the changes forced them to find other ways to follow the flights, including by sharing information with other groups and using data from an open source exchange that tracks aircraft transmissions. Yeah, this is called, I don't want to say sabotage, but we're keeping the fascists on
Kidnapping.
notice. Yeah, we're letting them know we see you. We know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting away with it. We're keeping tabs. Their work helps people locate loved ones who are deported in the absence of information from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which rarely discloses flights. News organizations have used such flight tracking in reporting. Tom Cartwright, a retired J.P. Morgan financial officer turned immigration advocate. He decided to join the side of the angels, I guess. Tracked 1,214 deportation-related flights in July, the highest level since he started watching in January 2020. About 80% are operated by 3 airlines: Global X, Eastern Air Express, and Avalo Airlines. They carry immigrants to other airports to be transferred to overseas flights or take them across the border, mostly to Central America or Mexico. Cartwright tracked 5,962 flights from the start of Trump's second term through July, a 41 increase of 1,721 over the same period in 2024. These figures include information from major deportation airports, but not the smaller ones like King County International Airport, also known as Boeing Field. Cartwright figures include 68 military deportation flights since January. and July alone. Most have gone to
Wow.
Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And the article goes on. They know. It's called the Ice Flight Monitor by Human
Mm.
Rights First. His work brings essential transparency to U.S. Wait a minute. Donald Trump promised. He promised us transparency. Did he not?
I think they need to change those flights to ice state kidnappings.
Yeah. Ice Flight Monitor. It kind of sounds nebulous, disarming, not really threatening, but ice flight kidnappings? Sure. Airlines
Let's
didn't
call it what it
respond.
is.
They didn't respond to multiple email requests for comment. ICE is part of the Department of Homeland Security, which would not confirm any security measures it has taken. Airlines can legally block data. Yeah. Tail numbers are like VIN numbers on cars. Planes with blocked
Mm-hmm.
tail numbers no longer appear on websites like Flight Radar 24 or FlightAware. The tracker page identifies those as a NA, not available, as they move across the map. Now, hold on a minute. If you saw a plane NA, would you, you're basically drawing even more attention to yourself. I can't see that an NA designation on a flight pattern log. I don't see that as um, curtailing anything. You're
Mm.
It's like demanding that your address be blocked from Google satellite imaging.
And
It's like,
isn't the whole isn't the whole point of planes having like a little black box where they get tracked is just in case of an emergency when they like crash, the people are
well,
actually able to like
the black
locate them
box, yeah, the black box is a
and know
recorder.
what happened.
It
Yeah,
it
to
it,
know what
it
happened.
right. It does video as well as audio. That's a separate
Mm-hmm.
thing. I'm talking about their VIN numbers that are on the plane itself. These people
Mm.
are literally blocking them from being tracked. It's like, you're not this isn't going to stop. People aren't going to be
Oh, so
like,
that'd be
"Oh,
like
they blocked the VIN number. Sorry. We tried." You're just
so
you're
that'd
not
be
you're not doing what you
would that
think you're doing.
so would that be the equivalent of driving a car around without your license plates attached to the front?
Um it's actually it's like toilet paper. Cover You're like covering your plate with toilet paper and hopefully no one notices. I mean, I'm sorry, but you're not hiding. You're not going to stay hidden, not for long. I'm sorry. You got people that have been doing this for a very long time, a lot longer than these people have been hiding.
I have another
Anyway,
question.
yeah, go ahead.
So if they're hiding like it by putting like toilet paper, doesn't that make it a very shitty situation?
The Yes, I I think. And talking about stupid decisions, it seems
Mm-hmm.
that RFK is limiting those who are eligible for COVID shots. I might not get a COVID shot this year. Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy announced a series of moves Wednesday that will limit who is eligible for COVID vaccines, even though the Stratus variant is surging. Why it matters: patients who now want to get the COVID vaccines will first have to consult with their doctor rather than booking directly with a pharmacy, adding another step to the process. What he's saying: the emergency use authorization for COVID vaccines, once used to justify broad mandates on a general public during the Biden administration, are now rescinded. The FDA and White House did not immediately respond for requests for comment. State of play: FDA approved and announced Pfizer BioNTech COVID vaccine for adults 65 and older.
Um, I got like a little rant about this.
Go ahead.
I don't think Captain Brainworm completely understands how like viruses work, how they evolve, and if it wasn't for him and the rest of the anti-vaxxers, and I'm going to say it, and I may get hate for it, but it needs to be said. If it wasn't for them and their selfishness of not wearing masks and getting vaccinated when they had a chance, the COVID, it wouldn't have sort of evolved. It wouldn't have what's that other word? Is it evolved? Mutated. That's the word I'm looking for. Mutated. COVID wouldn't have mutated into the different strains that it is today. No thanks to them. So yes, everybody needs to get the COVID shots because the vaccine needs to be updated to make sure everybody is correctly sort of vaccinated against it. Because you anti-vaxxers who refuse to get what done that needed to be done like grown-ups should be done.
So if we
It's now
could
evolved.
review, are you suggesting that the man who swam with his grandkids in sewage water does not have a full grasp of the situation? Are you suggesting that the man who took heroin in college to help him concentrate for tests doesn't have a full-fledged understanding of viruses and how they work? Are you saying the man who sawed off the head of a whale, strapped it to the front of his car, whale decay juices flowing inside the car because they tied it, they had to open their windows so that they could tie this whale skull, the head, to the top of the car while his kids are in the car getting drenched in whale juice? Are you saying this man does not have a grasp of vaccinations, vaccines, and viruses
Yeah.
in general?
He doesn't have a grip on reality. Yeah. He doesn't have a grip on reality in general. This man should not be anywhere near vaccines, healthcare, or food. He
How could
needs
you
to go
even
sit in the
suggest that?
corner.
How could you suggest that after all we went through with his expertise? Ah, it's and it gets worse. Younger people between 5 and 64 are eligible if they have at least one underlying health condition putting them at risk for severe outcomes from the virus. That means you already have to have health conditions. You already have
Yeah,
to be
he's
sick.
really.
So you could have cancer and not know it, but if it hasn't been discovered yet, well, you can't have the vaccine. My
It's really.
God.
And it's a really dumb way to look at things. Like he has no business being in the job that orange Cheeto was given him.
Yeah, basically every single pediatrician worth a damn is is saying, "What the hell are you? What schools are open? Kids are going to school now, and we now have a new variant running around. Running, it's going to be running rampant again. I tell you, this is
I'm
why
sorry,
you
but
don't let fuckwits in office. You don't vote for fuckwits because now we've got morons like RFK Jr.
mhm.
It's like if we didn't know any better, I'd think they were trying to kill us.
Yeah, I was just about to say that COVID's not the only thing that's running around the schools now because of Captain Muppet. Wasn't there an outbreak of something that was totally preventable if only the kids had got the vaccine for it?
Trying to remember. Are you talking about measles or
Yeah,
yeah? Because
yeah.
there's measles is chicken
hmm
pox is coming back. I
hmm
mean,
If only there was vaccines that children could have for that.
if only. If only.
These people wind me up. They shout so loud and proud about wanting to protect children, yet they're doing everything in their power to make sure innocent children die. And that vaccines were created to help protect children so they can grow into informative adults. It's they just don't care, do they? They don't care. The party of family values doesn't actually care at all, as long as they get their money.
Yeah. And it's just going to get worse.
Mhm.
This is what happens when you elect fucking idiots. This is what you're going to get. Fucking idiots that get appointed to office. People are like, well, I didn't vote for JFK Jr. Well, you voted for Trump, didn't you? Well, yeah. Well, there you go. That's why he's there. You
Do you know,
fucking
I
moron.
will, yeah, I will never get people who think, oh, well, I didn't vote for them, but I voted for Trump. Well, you voted for Trump, and every single person that Trump appoints to put in that office that does a terrible job is a person that you actually voted for. They don't seem to get that. They don't
No.
seem to get that the cabinet is Trump. The cabinet does as Trump wishes. All his appointees do as Trump wishes. They are an extension of Trump.
But there's a chance. We have midterms to consider, and we've got 2028. So I'm going to play a few clips
Okay.
from a progressive who's running in the ninth district in Illinois. Take it
Mhm.
away.
Once again, the DNC is not listening to its own voters. A resolution was attempted to pass through the DNC yesterday, Resolution 18, which would essentially condemn what is happening in Gaza right now and urge Democratic elected officials to support an arms embargo and to call for just and lasting safety in the region. This did not pass, and it was said that a working group would happen to discuss these matters. But the fact of the matter is that only about 8% of Democratic voters approve of what's happening in Gaza. So here's what Resolution 18 would do. It would condemn the ongoing man-made famine in Gaza. It would call for reopening the humanitarian corridor immediately. It would urge all Democratic elected officials to call for a ceasefire and an arms embargo, ensuring that our own weapons are abiding by U.S. law. It would direct DNC leadership to communicate that position to all Democratic elected officials. It would urge recognition of Palestinian statehood by members of Congress. And it would affirm a commitment to international law, universal human rights, and safety in the region. These are not controversial positions. And right now, Florida Young Dems are actually pushing forward an effort to contact the DNC to let your voice be heard. You can fill out this form by scanning this QR code. And you can urge your own representative to let the DNC know that this is what you, the voter, supports. All civilians deserve to live safe lives. No one deserves to starve. And humanitarian assistance must come into Gaza.
That was Kat Abu Ghazala, who's running in the ninth district. So, um, the the current DNC leadership of the Democratic whatever you want to call them, I don't know. It's like they don't seem to get the position that we're in. They don't seem to understand where the majority of the voters are. And the more horror
They're too.
stories,
Sorry.
I hear of what's happening in Gaza with these butchers of the IDF literally enticing civilians into a kill zone and just shooting at them, killing them. We're talking children, mothers carrying their babies, toddlers, trying to get just a little bit of sustenance that they can. I mean, I really don't know where our humanity is. I really don't. Shame, really is. Will we learn? I don't know. Here is Kat Abogazala again, because I think she deserves a little bit more recognition. And remember, if you are in the ninth district of Illinois, be thinking.
Incredibly pissed off at, the fascism, the fact that the military is invading our city, the fact that the climate is burning, the fact that the president seems to get away with whatever he wants to. Do you need an outlet? Because I do. That's why my campaign this Thursday on August 28th, we're having a Punks for Progress concert at G-Man Tavern. Doors open at 7, the show is at 8. We're featuring 3 bands, Rude Echoes, First Rule, and Malort and Savior. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you can get your tickets at catforillinois.com/concert. Are you incredibly pissed off?
Sorry, I just realized that.
Incredibly pissed off.
There it goes. Sorry. It was all the way shifted to the right, totally blocked you out. Yeah, that's Kat Abogazala, and I think it's important that we get their name out there. It's important that we get young people in office. I'm sick and tired of these old men. It's like, I don't know. I'm just tired of the geriatrics. Go ahead.
I think it's because most of the older people in politics are playing a game of chess with each other. They are doing moves and counter moves between each other, and they're not really taking into consideration what is best for the people that vote for them.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to get younger politicians that have been voted in that do for the people who voted them in. We need politicians that listen to the people that voted them in to do what is best for their constituents, what is best for everybody, for the country, for the world, for things to progress in a more peaceful manner.
Yeah, I agree. So this goes right into our next story, because we don't have the people in office that seem to have the will to do what's necessary to keep guns out of the hands of deranged fuckwits. So here we go again. Minnesota Catholic school shooter has been identified as 20-year-old Robin Westman. And on his gun and magazine were written anti-black, anti-Hispanic, and anti-Semitic messages such as 6 million wasn't enough. And we're going to actually see pictures of this. So it's not just on a meme. This has been fact-checked, and it is true. He's not an immigrant. He's not Antifa. He's not ISIS. He's yet another right-wing, white nationalist, homegrown terrorist. Just like nearly all the others.
Mm-hmm. Why I'm sensing that there seems to be a bit of a problem with particularly white cis Republican men. I mean, do we need to spell it out for them that something needs to be done about these guns because their children are killing other innocent children over the messed up belief system that they're instilling in these kids when they're growing up, and then they're going out and killing other innocent children?
Unrestricted access. Unrestricted access to firearms is what we're dealing with. And we, the people, have had enough. We're sick and tired of having to deal with this shit. It's like just one after another. And so here was a response from Betty Bowers. When America says it's a mental health issue, the rest of the world, oh, we have those, but we don't have mass shootings. America, it's the video games. The world says we have those too, but we don't have mass shootings. America, well, it's because they took Jesus out of the classrooms. And the whole world is like, there's no getting through to you.
It's the guns, it's the guns, it's the guns, it's the goddamn motherfucking guns.
Yeah, just as the sign says. It is the guns, and we know it is the guns because
It is the guns.
have you noticed that the countries that have little to no access to fire, think Japan. When was the last school shooting or mass shooting ever in Japan? When was the last one? You'd have to go back to the 60s, 50s, and 60s. They started cracking down on firearms. You have to have a mental evaluation. You have to have monthly checkups. They will come into your home and inspect where your gun is kept. They review your paperwork. You are required to go to you're supposed to go to firearms safety training. You're required to go to a range and keep up practice. And if you don't, by the way, if you don't, and you're required to take tests for accuracy. If you do not know how to handle your firearm, you don't get to keep it.
They do that here. You have to sign a piece of paper that says that you understand that the police can enter your property at any time of the day, night or day, at any time, to make sure that your guns are correctly secured. And not only have you got to keep your guns in a locked gun safe, but you need to keep your ammo in a separate locked box away from the gun cabinet, so it is secure. And you need to keep those keys on you at all times so nobody has access to the gun safe or the ammo box. And yes, you do have to go to a gun range. I think it's either once a week or once a month, but you do have to keep up going there. And you've got to do, I think, you've got to do your test. I think it's either 6 months or is it every few years that you've got to make sure that you pass your test, make sure that you're still sort of mentally capable of owning a gun.
I mean, imagine if they had something like that here. You know? I mean, wowza.
Like, we used to allow people to have guns, and then is it Dunblane? Dunblane happened.
That was in Scotland, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then we got like the gun laws come in then, so it keeps, yeah, not saying that it's stopped violence altogether. And yeah, we get stabbings now, but without proper laws in place to control things, it would be a lot worse now if those laws weren't in place,
Just imagine every single stabbing. Replace the knife with an AR-15. What do you think the damage would be then?
Astronomical. I'm surprised that they haven't banned kitchen knives at the moment. As is now with kitchen knives, the kitchen knives are locked, and you have to go ask someone to like give you the kitchen knives after you verified that your age. That that is just something that they've started introducing into the UK now, that I've noticed. Not in all shops, but in some shops, like you have to ask a staff member to get you the kitchen knives, and you need to be able to verify your age before you're able to buy them.
Police responded to a mass shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis, Minnesota on Wednesday, where they said 2 children were killed, 17 injured. The suspect shooter of a group of Minneapolis Catholic school students at morning mass Wednesday he has been identified as Robin Westman. It is Robin, I think. According to law enforcement, he was carrying 3 firearms, according to authorities: a rifle, pistol, and a shotgun. Wow, who does that remind you of? The Columbine shooters, Sandy Hook, just about every school shooter you can think of. multiple weapons. Court records show that Minneapolis juvenile named Robert Westman had their name legally changed to Robin in 2019. And the FBI director, Kash Patel, confirmed that the shooter was born Robert and later identified as Robin. Robin M. Weston was previously known as Robert Paul Westman, according to a court document filed by a mother named Mary Grace Westman. Minor child identifies as female and wants her name to reflect the identification. The name Mary Grace Westman also appeared at the school's Facebook feed in 2021, identified as Paris secretary ahead of her retirement party. She could not immediately be reached for comment. Disturbing videos posted by a person using the name Robin Westman were deleted from YouTube after the shooting, showing handwritten pages of a notebook, weapons with messages painted on them, and commentary from whomever filmed them. Minneapolis police chief confirmed that the police were aware of a manifesto the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. It appeared to show him at the scene, including some disturbing writing. He added that all 3 firearms used in the attack had been purchased legally by Westman, who had no prior criminal record. Sweet Pea, if I could ask a question.
Yeah.
When does a good guy with a gun become a bad guy with a gun?
In a split second decision. It only takes 2 seconds to turn yourself from a good guy with a gun to a bad guy with a gun. 2 seconds. That's all it takes.
Yeah. That's all it takes.
A split
Because
second.
Pointing a gun is considered aggravated assault, but it's not until you pull that trigger. That's all it takes.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And these right-wing gun nuts, they never answer the question because they do not like where it leads.
Nope.
What we know, let's find out what we know about the suspect in the Minneapolis Catholic School shooting. The suspect died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound after opening fire through church windows toward children at the Annunciation Catholic School. And then there's video of him, for fuck's sake. Yeah, well, we don't have time to showcase it, but yeah, it shows a video of him flipping through his little manifesto. But we're going to play a video of him talking about a candidate for office that he actually, prior to the shooting, he encouraged people to vote for this man. Yeah, it's pretty wild. The suspect who opened fire in Minneapolis has been identified by authorities. The suspect Wednesday shooting was identified as Robert Westman, 23 at this time. Okay. So Fox News got it wrong, did they? Who knows? The suspect's parent had filed for a legal name change for Robin M. Westman in Dakota County in November 2019. The filming granting the name change said it was in the best interest of the minor child because the minor child identifies as a female and wants her name to reflect that identification. Anyone using this as an opportunity to villainize our trans community or any other community out there has lost their sense of common humanity. We should not be operating out of a place of hate for anyone. We should be operating from a place of love for our kids. The suspect has no criminal history. Doesn't take much.
Nope.
No criminal history. Well, he does now. Not that it matters. Let's go ahead and first we'll watch a video.
Maybe it's because the Trump administration is taking gender affirming care away.
I don't think that's the reason.
No, probably not.
I'm going to play you first. Let me play the video. The last video we play will be of one of the survivors. I want you to take special care. Listen carefully because the volume is very low and see what you hear.
This message brought to you by BlackRock and ExxonMobil. Sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon, Brandon Herrera for president. Yeah, I met Brandon Herrera at SHOT Show last year. He and I had a brief conversation, but I think we agreed on a lot of things. So y'all should vote for Brandon Herrera for president.
He sounds like one of those annoying TikTokers that gets up in the panel of a woman's live and complains about, women not liking men and this and that. He just has that same speech pattern. It's annoying the fuck out of me.
Unfortunately, I can't hear him, so.
You cannot hear him at all?
Nope.
Why? Have you been able to hear any video that I've played so far?
Nope.
Okay.
I did say 2 in the chat.
All right. Sorry about that. So you can only see, but you can't hear.
See. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
maybe this person was bullied and they just snapped.
Maybe.
Vintage Warfare promotes love and
like
peace.
With most of the school shooters, you find out that they were bullied and they just couldn't take it anymore. Some of them are so twisted in the conspiracy theories that their parents have brought them up in Trumpism.
And accepting differences.
Oh my word.
Tomorrow, I'm sorry to my family. But that's it. That's the only people I'm sorry to. Fuck those kids.
Well, I don't understand what that was about.
The last thing he said was, I'm sorry to my family, but that's about it. And fuck those kids.
Oh my. Do you think he was being picked on then?
The kids that he killed were not picking on him. None of the kids that he targeted.
No. Yeah.
Let's play another video. This one doesn't have sound, but this is a capture of all of the weapons that he had. Pay close attention. And if you need me to pause for any reason, just raise your hand and I'll pause it. $6 million wasn't enough. Do you know what that's in reference to?
I think that's having that's very anti-Semitic.
Yeah, it's about 6 million Jews being killed during World War II.
Yeah.
This is in reference to Hispanics.
Yeah, no, that's
N-word there. That's nice, charming. I don't think you learn this by being trans.
No. That is being brought up in a house with Nazis. That hate is being brought up with Nazis. That is
Alleged
absolutely
shooter
disgusting.
Robin Westman also had Waco and McVeigh written on his gear, references to anti-government topics often referenced by far-right nationalists. Waco, Texas was that's where the compound was stormed by agents of ATF and the FBI. McVeigh is the Oklahoma City bombing. So, by the way, for YouTube, we do not condone the actions taken or the words written herein. We are just showing them for educational purposes. We do not condone this at all.
No, we don't condone or endorse. This is absolutely disgusting.
In addition to his far-right Nazi messages, he also had threats against Trump on his gear. Many far-right white nationalist anti-government types despise Trump, while others find their home in the MAGA movement. Westman appears to be can't read that. The former. And here's the guy that he was supporting for president. He wanted the guy who owns this channel, Vintage Warfare. It's these shooter, they showcase all of their weapons and then, they demonstrate them on camera, that sort of thing.
Don't know them.
So basically he wanted this guy. He was advocating for this guy to be president. He's like, yeah, get this guy for president. And so the guy that was like, oh my goodness. So the Republican House candidate, Brandon Herrera, condemned his fan, alleged school shooter Robin Westman. He's like, well, no, I don't condone this action at all. Blah 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 blah. I don't know. He should burn in hell. But then he's got so many people who are pointing this out blocked. It's like, really, you're not helping yourself by doing that. But okay, you do you. Just another manic Wednesday, or was it Tuesday?
Manic Monday.
Yeah,
I hope that these far right-wing extremists don't take this out on the trans community.
Oh, they will. They're already doing it now. In fact, they're already saying that's the reason why this happened in the first place.
It's not the reason. No, it's not.
Then you got assholes like Cat Turd on Twitter saying, oh, it's been trans people all the time. Every single one of them. All these shooters have been trans.
No, they have not. No, they have not.
Yeah. So when you get a chance, pull up the
do you know what all these shooters have in common?
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen, what all these shooters have in common is that they were all raised in right-wing fundamental fascism with easy access to guns that they had no business being or having access to. Got nothing to do with anything else.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the chat. And you can
brilliant.
Watch it if I can get to it. It'll let me. But yeah, this is despicable is what this is.
It is.
And I'm telling you, I'm just wondering, where are the parents? Your son is literally indoctrinating himself into this far right-wing ideology. Where are the parents in all this? And I have to wonder where I wonder where the parents are. I think the son just took it further
They're
than
probably
they did.
posing for pictures. They're probably posing for pictures with their AR-13s, 15s, or whatever the hell they are, like Lauren Boebert and her family does.
Yeah, can you imagine if pictures like that exist? We're going to find out a whole lot of shit in the next couple weeks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we are.
All this shit's going to come out.
I think their parents are to blame completely for bringing them up the way that they have brought them up in this right-wing fascism. They think things like this is okay and it's not.
And they allowed their son to buy these firearms. They allowed these firearms into their home, didn't say anything. I'm telling you, parents need to start taking firearms seriously. You do not let your kids buy firearms and keep them in your house. If they want to buy firearms, let them move out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, none of these firearms were put up in a safe place. He just had bullets scattered all over his bed, his desk. I mean, that just shows you the lackadaisical attitude toward firearms. He could, I mean, at any time he could have picked one up and walked down the street. But they never, ever. I wonder if it ever crossed their mind. Well, not my boy. It would never happen to my son. No.
They need to teach their kids that guns are dangerous weapons and they're not toys to be left around their room. In fact, don't give your kids guns in the first place. Don't allow your kids to have guns in the first place.
This is what happens when we associate manliness and weapons, you know. And this person, I mean, however this person identified as or whatever, it really doesn't matter at this point. The ideology, you're not going to learn this. You're not going to become a right-wing Nazi by being trans. You don't learn that.
That is something that you get off your parents, that you learn from the people around you.
You know? So, yeah, I guess we're going to find out who the parents are and what was going on and where, you know, I'd like to see, I want to see more information. I want to see what were the steps that led to this. How did this person get just ingrained in this ideology? And why didn't the parents have any say? Did they have any pushback? I mean, what was going on in that house? But I guess we'll find out. Stay tuned. If you like what you heard, please consider supporting us through Patreon, Cash App, or Venmo. We want to thank you so much for tuning in and not tuning out. And remember, if you want independent media, if you want more of it, please help support the show so that we can grow and go on and keep going on. So good morning, evening, or afternoon, depending on what part of the globe you're on and what time zone you are in. You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Blue Sky, Discord, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, Kick, Rumble, Twitch, and Substack.
And Twitter. Did you say Twitter?
I'm sure I did. It's on the list.
Okay. You can find us on Blue Sky. Did you say Blue Sky?
Yes, I did say Blue Sky.
Okay.
You know what? Twitter is not here. How in the hell? How many times do we go through this list and I'm always finding something else that didn't make it?
That's okay. And on that note, please leave us comments, and we will get back to you. Share and subscribe. And we love everybody. Well, except the Nazis.
Yes, no love for Nazis. They can fuck right off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we do not care. Nazi lives do not matter.
Nope. And remember, it's the guns. It's the guns. It's the motherfucking guns.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Later.